morning, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to hear the presentation. So Silver47, to introduce our company, it says here, creating a leading high-grade U.S. silver developer. Now, we use those words quite carefully because today we've assembled a portfolio of 3 projects, high-grade assets in the United States, in Alaska, Nevada, and New Mexico, that host a global resource of 247 million ounces at around 350 grams per ton. Right now, if you follow the silver market, silver assets primary silver assets anyways, are quite rare. High-grade ones in Tier 1 jurisdictions like the United States are even more rare. Today, we have about 27 million in working capital, so we're fully funded to complete drill programs on all 3 of our projects and rapidly grow these ounces. I'll note, as of today, we have 15 assays currently pending from a summer drill program that we've done in Alaska, and that'll serve as the first major catalyst this fall. One more thing I'd like to point out here is just some of our high-grade drill intercepts at all 3 of our projects. Our best one being 36 meters of 672 grams at our Alaska project. In our Hughes project in Nevada, almost 4,000 grams over 2.8 meters. And in New Mexico, 31 meters of 448 grams per ton. Not only do results like these add ounces to your resource very quickly, but they also really do move the needle in the market today in a rising silver market. Significant re-rate potential. This slide here takes a basket of some of our other high-grade peers, and when we look at them from a valuation perspective in terms of EV per ounce in the ground, you'll see that all of our peers here trade close to $2 to up to $3 per ounce in the ground. For us here today, we're trading at about 31 cents. So we clearly have an opportunity to re-rate over the next year. If you go back to a market like 2020, we saw companies like ours and our peers trading up at $5 to $6 per ounce in the ground. So hopefully as silver markets continue to rise, we can close the gap on our re-rate with some of our peers. Just quickly introducing our company. Galen McNamara is our CEO. He's an exploration geologist by trade going back about 20 years now. Some of his best success came at a company called NextGen Energy, where he managed all the drilling there from 2014 to 2018 as they drilled out a world-class uranium deposit. Gary Thompson is our executive chairman. He is the founder of Silver47. He's also the founder of Brixton Metals, West Point Gold, and a number of other junior mining companies. I'll note myself, Giordy, I'm the Vice President of Investor Relations, and I've been doing investor relations here in the silver space for close to 5 years. Capital structure, these are all Canadian figures. Our recent share price is 86 cents. So with about 172 million shares outstanding, that gives us approximately a $140-ish million valuation. We have 237 million shares fully diluted, and like I mentioned earlier, we have 27 million in working capital today, so we're fully funded for the rest of this year. Eric Sprott is our largest individual shareholder. He personally owns about 9% of the company. Some other institutional ownership includes the Sprott Resource Funds that are separate from Eric personally. First Majestic Silver is also a small shareholder of us. And with respect to our trading volume, we're seeing shares between 3 and 5 million shares a day traded in Canada, which is quite strong. Okay, the Red Mountain project. This is the one that we've been active at this past summer, where we drilled 15 holes. And just to talk about Alaska as a district to start, there's 7 large operating mines in the state. Where we are here today is on state-managed land, free of any royalties. Alaska is ranked in the top 3 mining jurisdictions globally. It's a great place to operate right now as a silver company. And then just zooming into our project here, you know, we call it a project, but there's a 60-kilometer trend, 6-0, that spans across this project, really makes it almost a district. We say that this is one of those classic VMS-style deposits. And we say that because, as you can see here, there's these little dots across the screen. Those are mineralized prospects. We've identified about 35 of them. However, our resource zone is only made up out of 2 targets. That's Dry Creek and West Tundra Flats. So those 2 alone make up about 169 million ounces silver equivalent at 335 grams per ton. We know that these types of deposits, though, typically form in clusters, and we can see that slowly emerging with all the other targets that are either totally undiscovered to some limited degree of drilling has been done on those. Right now, the focus of the 15 holes that we just completed are all on West Tundra and Dry Creek and growing the resource there. But in the coming years, we would certainly like to step out and start testing some of the other prospective targets. Not to give you guys too many numbers here, but again, some of our best drill intercepts here. 36 meters of 672 grams per ton, 6 meters of almost 2,000 grams. It's really easy for us to justify drilling here with silver at $47 per ounce, and $47 per ounce, and we're getting drill intercepts like these. So we're looking to roll these assays out in the next coming weeks. Hopefully, we'll be able to put out 3 news releases that have some really strong results in them. Just to briefly touch on this as well, some of the critical mineral potential here. Antimony and gallium are the 2 that I find most intriguing. These metals are the most scarce to the United States. Hosting them domestically has a lot of advantages, not only for future permitting, but also potential for other funding that we could seek. And I'll note as well, the antimony and gallium that we have here, none of that's been included in the resource estimate. So all of the drilling that we've done this summer, we're going to, of course, assay for antimony and gallium as well, and that could serve as a nice kicker, as a catalyst here as we approach the fall. The Hughes project, this is the one in central Nevada, halfway between Reno and Las Vegas. It's in the historic Tonopah mining district. This area is probably one of the best mining jurisdictions globally to operate in. You can fly into Las Vegas, drive 2 hours in a Toyota Corolla, and show up right on our site. We operate here almost exclusively on private land. Private land in Nevada, you don't even need a drill permit, which is someone that lives in British Columbia, Canada, that's pretty insane. All the infrastructure, commercial water, grid power is all accessible from the town of Tonopah, making it an excellent place for development. This project hosts 46 million ounces silver equivalent, depending on zones indicated and inferred, that's 300 to 400 grams per ton. You'll also note there is a company that we have next door here called BlackRock Silver. They host 120 million ounce resource as well. And again, that's very similar grades, close to 500 grams. And when I look at this project, ultimately, if you were to look at it as one project, because these deposits are essentially the same, this district here has close to 165 million ounces right now, 400 to 500 grams per ton in one of the best mining jurisdictions globally. And I see this as an excellent place where you can see future production quite easily. So just zooming in here to our project, the yellow and purple shaded areas, those are the resource outlines. That's where we've done essentially 90 to 95% of the drilling here on this project. We've diligently been adding ounces here going back to 2020, but the more exploration focus of this project, in which we're going to be testing later this year, is the entire eastern extension to the district. So that's that Ruby target all the way along strike out to Sapphire. You can see that it is right on trend from our current resource area. And when you look at the district as a whole, historically this area produced 175 million ounces of silver. There's about 165 million ounces in the district that's been identified already, and nobody had ever historically mined or explored this entire eastern extension. It's about 4 kilometers worth of strike that we're currently looking to test later this February, and we believe it represents a multi-100 million ounce target. I'll note we have drilled 6 holes into it already. We've hit on all 6, the best one being 1,450 grams over 3 meters. And that really got us excited because it proved our theory right that these veins continue well out to the east of the district. District comparison. So just to put Tonopah, compare it to some of these famous Mexican mining districts that have been mining going back to the 1500s. All these other world-class districts have produced over a much greater strike length and were able to produce many, many more ounces. Well, when I look at Tonopah, we believe it prematurely shut down at 4 kilometers. If we add another, call it 1.5 to up to 4 kilometers where we're hitting at these ruby targets east of the district, we see how nicely we fit in with them when they get to be of true world-class size and scale. Now we have a third project called the Maguillon project in southwest New Mexico. Similar to Nevada, this is a past producing area. This project hosts 32 million ounces at 367 grams per ton. So it's a bit of a smaller resource, but I'll note we've only drilled 21 holes here as a company. And what we find really interesting is our geologists like to say that this is like the northernmost of the classic Mexican style vein deposits, where you look at a Vizsla silver or a sandy mass of First Majestic, where they're able to grow these massive resources. And that's partly because they're able to drill into these massive wide veins that get up to be 30, 40, 50 meters wide. Now, this project here, very rare for us to have a project in the United States that has veins this wide. I'll note all the ounces that we have drilled out here is along the main queen vein, which is right in that little yellow shaded area that continues up to the north. Our best hits along this vein are 31 meters at 450 grams, 23 meters at 440 grams. But we see how nicely this district fits when you compare it to some of these classic Mexican style vein deposits. Just looking at a quick long section view of our resource area here, this makes up about 2 kilometers of strike. I'll note that we've really only drilled out the first 500 meters of this at the consolidated extension. So when we start drilling here this November, hopefully, we're going to be stepping out from there and testing these other 3 targets, Clifton, Everly, and Deadwood, where we're trying to show a pathway to a critical mass here. I think a critical mass on projects like these is 100 plus million ounces. So after this program, we want to show a very clear pathway in getting there by testing some of these other targets along strike. Upcoming catalyst and work program. So like I mentioned, we had just concluded our drill program in Alaska. We drill there typically from June until right about now, end of September. From there, we're going to be pivoting to our New Mexico asset, where we're going to be drilling from the start of November until the end of February. And then in Nevada, we're going to be doing a springtime drill program there from March until, call it, the end of May. So that's how we're dividing our time and assets amongst our 3 projects. And like I said, the first major catalyst will have our drill results, which we'll be releasing here in the coming weeks from our Red Mountain project. And then hopefully with 27 million in the bank, when we drill out all 3 of these projects, we can evaluate the potential to re-update the resource estimates and continue pushing these assets forward in what we believe is a generational silver market. So again, just to put things into perspective, we have 247 million ounces. Amongst junior mining companies, that's one of the largest, highest grade deposits when you combine all 3 of them. Like I said, we're quite excited to push these forward in what we believe is a $47 silver, a great market. That's Silver47. I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. It's right in time. And next I would like to welcome